to quickly tell you how the markets are really changing post COVID, because that is what finally will identify the market gaps and possible opportunities which startups can see to really move forward to in that direction, because the space of agriculture and food is vast. Although it is very strongly interlinked, there is a whole gamut of how agriculture needs to be done, and how there are great opportunities to innovate big time in agriculture. Equally, there are a lot of opportunities in food tech and food processing, where there are opportunities seen. And I'm also seeing government has been very aggressive on supporting these sectors for times to come, because it is time for all of us to believe that the idea to move economy from oil based to soil based is becoming now more and more important, and we have to work on our soil to strengthen our nation at large. And we actually, India actually can become a food source, food supplier for entire world in true sense. One reason I want to share, because I also work in organic farming. I have around 100-acre or certified organic farm, and we produce and cater to almost 800 families in Pune with their daily requirements. And this is out of passion, nothing really as full-fledged business we do, but it's been a sustainable journey so far. So I'm very excited about the area of agriculture, agri-tech, and food, and how it is all connected and interlinked to each other. Uh, I have been seeing that if you all the food startups are also trying, which they should also keep finding what other legal legislations, government schemes are offering for food businesses. And a recent scheme which Government of India, Food Ministry of Food Processing released, which was on production linked incentive. In that scheme, they have actually given an additional support to organic foods and millet based foods. Also, novel ideas in food tech and food processing are being largely supported by them. And I think more than 400 crores of funds they have sanctioned for these areas where companies and startups want to process these things. Uh, One thing I always see is get when startups work on some ideas, uh, it it many times comes from their own thought process or their own experience of what they have seen around the world. But I'm always going to tell that sometimes you also need to see where the market is really flowing. And I have seen one of the biggest change in entire supply chain due to the IT innovations which have happened in industry, where now you see the digital space actually ruling uh, and becoming more stronger than physical way of dealing with business. So sometimes not actually food or agri or how and through what we have learned will impact our food and agri business, but some other emerging technologies may bring huge disruption in and concept where you need to become agile and flexible enough to sustain the business you want to do with. So now the challenge which startups will have is far more complicated than they would have if they were startups of 15 years back or 10 years back, where it was मेरे को ये product बनाने को आता है, मैं ये product अच्छा बनाता हूँ, ये एक novel idea है, मुझे इसको market में लेके जाना है, मुझे distributors appoint करने हैं और मुझे काम शुरू करना है. But now the things are very different. On a larger perspective, if you see, with the globalization and imports and exports being very easy, you can face lot of competition from products and produce of other countries also. And I will also share in the spice trade also similar things have happened. Countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and many other international players are now, or a place like Guatemala, which competes a lot with India for green cardamom now. Country like Vietnam works a lot on black pepper now. So suddenly the trade change, suddenly the uh, monopoly and assurance of business, which was always there for Indian agricultural ecosystem or food ecosystem, have changed. And that all impacts one point of time to our day-to-day business. And we have to be careful and keen observer about how things are happening even globally, how things are happening domestically in our nation, because our country itself is a probably one of the biggest markets, a giant ecosystem itself. So in other way, there are a lot of growth opportunities also. But if we are not aware, then it is time to all my friends in this sector starting to establish their businesses and be sustainable and grow. They need to be very aware about things happening around us. Second important thing, the technology and innovation is also now happening very fast, and technology is now available at far more lower cost than it was available earlier. For example, robotics. 15 years back, even if a larger industry wanted to implement any robotic solution in their manufacturing area, it was very difficult. And that time, handful of companies would be able to do research and bring on those automated manufacturing lines and scale up their operations, and that would always add up a lot of cost to manufacturing. But now what also has happened is the technologies are available which are far more sustainable. They're around the corner almost, because you can find them on your smartphones, and you get great um, uh, films through which, even on WhatsApp nowadays, you get a lot of interesting films where you find great technologies. Then you can contact people. All that, see, the idea of connectivity has also become very easy. So if our businesses and startups are still running on an old fashioned technology, there is lot of risk that we also carry, that there there is a possibility someone can come with a far more aggressive way of manufacturing, production, and make economies of scale possible and offer similar products at a lower pricing also. So we also need to be careful about that. What intrinsic strength India as a country have, and that is something I want to really share my views more about, that where I see a lot of opportunities for startups to really focus their work on, is our biodiversity and the knowledge which we have of our Ayurveda or herbs and other things, which is very difficult for anyone else to get into or copy that. And more or less globally also, with the this government work, Ayurveda and health nutraceutical concepts are growing big time globally now. The whole idea of immunity building food, for that matter, you can see every household now thinks about how we can be healthy, how we can build immunity, and this is all even post COVID changes. So I'm just touch basing the points, that how many different aspects of our uh, global happening changes our business perspective. And as a startup, as an entrepreneur, we need to be very clear about that. So as a focus, traditionally, we as a company, we have been doing only masalas, for that matter, so far, or pickles and Indian traditional foods. But now we realize health has become suddenly an important aspect, and that seems like a space to be in, and we need to deliver some serious good food which can also build immunity. And spices also have that kind of a quality, or many other ingredients. For example, guluvel. I'm quickly trying to remember the English name, but guluvel is one such herb, is becoming a very big hit for immunity, as a immunity building food. Ashwagandha, shatavari. they can become part of almost every diet. Now, another thing which plays vital role in food industry, food tech industry, is the FSSAI norms. What is allowed as food to be used in food packs? What is allowed as a label to be declared on label? All those things also matter a lot when you're in a novel food processing, novel ingredient processing. And you also need to stay updated about how to look at how to really use it as much as you can for your packaging and for your label, so the product is more market friendly as well. Now these products, as I said, immunity building food is important. The processing in India, which so far has been more like an Indian traditional foods, and now we are actually moving more ahead with utilizing our more ancient knowledge and offer it through our food. Very recently, I met someone who has launched milk, and the milk has shatavari in it, ashwagandha in it, and so far we have had. I'm just giving an example over here. We had rose milk, pista milk, or badam milk. And you see how the whole trend is now shifting towards more health driven. A2, A1 milk you have seen has made a very big noise, and there is a good market potential which people have built for the desi cow milk scenario also. Similarly, you can find this happening everywhere. If I give you example of oil seeds, you know how omega-3 fatty acids have been playing a vital role in heart health. And lot of people are promoting products which are around high omega-3 fatty acid, or how virgin coconut oil has become almost becoming diet of almost every family in Western countries, and now in India also it is getting largely popularized. Y- How also I observe that there is a very big market potential to this is also, you see, India is capital country for uh, a disorder like a diabetes, and that also shows that lot of foods which can heal, control these disorders can play vital role. And this is what the concept of functional foods, nutraceutical, is called as. And food industry, if work on this smartly, there is a big future. Another area where a lot of innovation needs to happen is food tech. We all know IoT and as I said, robotics and big data all plays very important role nowadays to us. And sustainability in food industry is another big area where concepts like utilizing renewable energy sources, or having right waste management practices, and how that can build a right sustainability. Now there is a one example I want to give you. Very recently India has also passed on the law for the green or the carbon credits which are generated by green practices, and the trade can happen, which I have learned also very recently. And if utilization of green energy is done in the businesses, that carbon credits can bring more sustainability. I have my own example which I want to give you, where our warehouse is IGBC platinum rated green building, and we are actually running it only. Entire warehouse is run on solar power. We do 100% recycling of water in the premises. We have an organic food forest developed along with the uh, warehouse, and entire waste management principles are implemented. And I take this opportunity to invite you all there. We can organize a visit through our food committee to visit such places around Pune, which we also, Vishwas sir, have been dedicatedly doing pre-COVID times. The food industry committee has been doing one visit every 2 months to food industry, leading food industry, where some real interactions and learning also would happen. And I open this platform for all these young, great startup community in food and agri-tech to come and witness some work which my industry or even other industries are doing, and we can curate them around your needs also. That is a great learning which can happen on that platform too. Other important thing which I want to share is, many times we always want to find funds. मुझे funds चाहिए, and our business focus remains on one side and we become fund focused business. What exactly we want to achieve? Are we truly passionate about growing our business? Then my experience, funds will automatically will follow, because you are doing some things which are absolutely logical and right to the point, for the market which is getting built. The product like that, a business offering like that, will by default attract a lot of investment. So definitely try and make a point that you are equally looking at the right market gaps and creating a business model like that, and not creating something to keep finding funds, because the funder would always like to see the potential in the idea, the gap, uh, or the support system which they need to create to really accelerate the business. And it really is very crucial from my perspective, seeing almost more than 20 startups in the recent conference which happened, that you also need to find funds at a right point of time. There needs to be some shape which should be created for that startup. And I'm sure the MCCI committee of startup incubation does that role very aptly to bring the businesses to that level where now the fund finding needs to be done, and it needs to taken to another level. So I am today very excited to hear all the stories which members here present want to share of their own ideas and businesses. Uh, in funding also, you all know there are investments which come from angel investors, and there are VCs, and there are multiple types of funding mechanisms for multiple types of businesses which happens, and I'm sure that has been discussed in the past event more often in this committee. uh, but be aware about it. One startup, some example someone was putting me, they had gone to one startup meeting, and almost out of 10 startups which were there, 70% startups were on a similar topic, same topic. So something like that also, you need to see that how many other startups and companies are venturing into similar things, and be cautious about what exactly then you're doing. That is my small sharing and advice I want to give to all, and wishing you all the best to your business, and wish you that there is abundance growth, and we make India proud about it. It's a great time, friends, to be in the space of agri and food. And I personally believe this is, agriculture especially is everybody's responsibility, and I do promote that idea that agriculture is not any profession, but it must be a daily ritual for every individual, whether they are living in cities or whether they are in rural areas. Small piece of land or even on terraces, agriculture and food growing practices must be done. We can really make India sustainable. In that way, we can offer cleaner food to our people, our citizen. That's what I have believed in, and I think uh, that will make India really strong in many different aspects. Thank you so much. Do look into funding opportunities from government also. There are lot of funding opportunities available right now, and government is very pro for Make in India and startup community. Vishwas sir, I will also share you some startup groups which are running around food tech and agri tech, which I'll share, and you can make people part of that also. Thank you so much. I have one slide which I will request Preeti to share. Five series we are doing in as a concept of future of food, our food processing industry. Can you show the first slide which we have done, Preeti? Uh, this is yeah, we will add this to group chat also. Future of food series is basically about how and what trending what is really trending in India and globally for food processing industry. For example, you are also seeing a lot of buzz about these imitated meat products or vegan proteins, or as I said, health foods, and some millets is another revolution happening in India. So, what is really true? What is really practical? Is it really a market gap? What are the technologies available to process? So we have 5 sessions which are happening, and they are the happening with the best of the research institutes in this space. We have had one session already with Dr. Sridevi Singh, who is CSIR CFTRI director, CSIR CFTRI Mysore. Another one we are having is with Dr. Subodh Jindal sir from the industry perspective. He is president of All India Food Processing Association, 80 plus year old association of food industries from Delhi. And then we have one session with Chindi Vasudevappa sir from he's vice chancellor NIFTEM. So NIFTEM is a biggest food institute of India, based near Delhi, and it's Ministry of Food Processing supported institute. We have few more to happen, two more to happen, and we will henceforth share the links with Vishwas sir to you also, so you can share it to the respective participants. Preeti, can
Sure.
you, yeah, Preeti, can you share the first slide, the other slide also, which happened? But now all this was the one. So here you can see the topics quickly, that what all was really covered in that, and there was a roadmap of Indian food industry for next 10 years was also discussed at large. How academic research, another thing, or to my all startup friends, I want to share these institutes can help your research to accelerate your research. They can act like a catalyst to you all. So do get in touch with these institutes. Chambers committee will make the connections also happen. They have large range of products available in this space, which they want to give to industry. In fact, they are the people and great institutes working for industries like ours who wants to accelerate the business growth. So I will share this, and also recording of this is available, which also will be shared. The rest all will happen in sir post Navratri. The next sessions are happening. So I like you all to be part of it.